Today's Saturday and I'm here at the plant doing my janitorial maintenance. Let's call it custodian work. That sounds more official. Let's see, I'll go ahead and get me a there. Now I've got a shirt with my name on it. It's official. What we've got here is unloading the Patriot machine. I'm going to hit some of the highlights and put them on, try to make a video of it so we can answer a few questions that are out there. When you get the machine unloaded, you're going to see all the accessories are down inside the shot and powder hoppers. You'll have to unpack all of that stuff. First off will be the shot and powder hoppers, which you're all familiar with, and the top plate. It will not be assembled on the machine when you receive it. This larger spent primer box will also be in there. We can go ahead and set that in there on the machine in place. It locks in place on the cross shaft. Next we've got the primer tray extension and cover in a bag. You'll also be receiving the shot and powder linkage for the drop system. Also will be an extension that you put on your wad ram if you're planning on loading steel shot. At the same time, if you're loading steel shot, you'll need a longer drop tube for the shot side because the wads sit a lot lower. And then we come to the drain adapter. It will also be in there. We'll just highlight and kind of go through these items and show you where they go on the machine. When you get your machine, you're going to want to turn the handle around. It's going to be facing inboard just so it'll fit in the box. You want to crank the handle back out where it belongs, tighten up the set screw. Next we're going to spin the machine around and show you where the linkage gets placed on. On this linkage, all it does is sits right down on top of your index pin, the housing. Pop your pins out up top, put them back in place, and secure them with these little clevis clips. At the same time, you want to tighten up these two little set screws on the side of your index pin. Just snug them slightly so that you don't bend that pin, the pin housing on the outer portion. Now that's in place. And we can go ahead and put our shot and powder hopper system on with the thumb screws that it comes with. We'll turn the machine back around now. Now your primer tray extension. Obviously I suggest taking off the primer tray so that nothing gets bent up. You have to remove the wing nuts off of there and off of the back of the extension. Fits on and slides down in place. And you put the wing nuts back on. Now I'm going to be turning the camera off and on from different spots so I can get a different angle and showing you different things on the machine. Now, the Patriot comes with the needle bearings in the base. It also has an anti-double drop lock system on the back, which there is no possible way that you can ever double charge a shell. When you're operating the machine and you come down to a certain point when it starts pulling the drawbar back for your shot and powder, it's going to set the lock in place. You hear that click? Now there's no way I can pull that handle. It locks it up until I actually index the machine and then it'll let it free up. Now we've got also on the Patriot is the external adjusting shell seating post, which the head comes off of the shell seating post itself to change to a different gauge, all the way down to 410. Right here we have the shell seating post set up with 12 gauge. We're going to pop the head off. If we want to go to 410, we would simply take the sleeve off, put the spring back on, put the cup back on, put your pad on, and you'll be ready to load 410. And also will come with it'll load steel or lead, as I said. It's case activated. Comes with the larger primer system, which is sit on a spring system. You can adjust this block back and forth to get a different angle on your primer tray. Around at the back is your locking mechanism. It comes down, it actually locks your lower actuating arm, and won't until you actually come all the way back, and the index pad pushes the lock out of the way, and then it will release once it comes back up. But not until the machine has to index to get it to unlock. Let's turn this back around. We've added a primer tray tapper. It just taps the track every time it comes by it. That adjusts as it wears down. You can keep coming right on around with it. Right now I'm going to get some shot and powder and maybe run a couple shells through it. So I'm going to pause the video. Now we've got some components on the bench. We're going to go ahead and add a little shot and some powder. Some powder in there and then some shot. Now I'm just going to run some hulls through here with dummy components. I don't have the machine bolted down, so I'm going to be in the way most of the time. You set the shell on a shell seating post, seat the shell. Like all of our machines, three things have to happen simultaneously. The shell's getting seated up into the die with the shell seating post, the primer bin seated into the primer pocket of the shell, and your index pin dropping off the pad. All three of those things have to happen at the same time. If one's out of sync, your machine's going to be out of time. Next we'll rotate it on around. We'll knock the primer out. Just going to put the same spent primer right back in the hull. Come around. We're going to drop powder in that shell. Put a wad in. Next we go around. We just drop the shot side. Come on around to the pre-crimp. Final crimp. And the knockout. One perfectly manufactured shell. Some of the things I didn't cover was the handle is going to be different. There's bronze bushings in the crosshead and in the wad carrier up top. Now to drain the machine, you're going to want to bring your handle down after you clear it of all shells. Bring your handle down. Now your charge bar is all the way forward. You're going to come around to the back, just swing it around here, and drop your linkage off. You don't need it to be activating your charge bar back and forth. Now that leaves your charge bar all the way out over your drain holes. Now all you have to do is bring your shot and powder hopper forward where your bushings are over your drain tubes. Then we're going to pop a die pin out, take a die out, put your drain tube adapter, run it up in, Now when you pull the handle on up, the drain tube adapter is going to activate your pinch off bar and drain the rest of the powder out. For the shot, you would do the same thing. Pop the die out over there. On the shot side, put your adapter in, run your handle up, activate it, drain all your shot out. Now you want to come back, set your linkage back up. Linkage is hooked back up. Slide your top plate back into position, and you're ready to go again.